Hi, I'm back with more Masquerada. Um, Starting a bit early today. And just double check everything's running okay. Yep. It's been another warmer day. Um, which is nice. And I think this whole week is supposed to be not as cold. We might be getting rain instead of snow. Hopefully, wherever you are also having some better weather. Because I know this past month has been um, difficult for a lot of people with snowstorms and hurricanes and the wildfires and all that. This past month, or the past 2 months rather. um, we will see how things go going into the next month. Anyway, we back into this. I actually don't remember if there's anything left in this area to explore. Much of. Hmm. Oh. Uh-huh. I don't see any purple icons to click on. So we'll go here.
What is this about?
No greetings, even?
Stop wasting my time.
All right. I want you to be a part of this investigation.
What?
You have expertise that my team is lacking.
This is not a good idea.
I can pay you 1,000 crescents.
You
I
don't
don't think
have
he
that kind of
cares.
money.
I will once I finish my job, with your help. Amadea, what is stopping you? Masquerades, the blood of the city. This is our chance to find out where they came from. For centuries, the histories of the land have been enigmatic. For the first time, that curtain is being lifted.
Fine.
Really?
Do you want me to back out now?
No. This is good. Thank you.
Now, where are we going?
Toth, found us a place yet?
Yes, we did.
We think you'd be most pleased with it, sir.
Well, let's hope you're right.
I'm gonna raise my audio a
So,
bit.
what fruits have your search yielded?
It's a place called the Estiguary, sir.
Is it crowded?
Not at all, sir. In fact, the place is practically barren, save the people who own it.
The owner said the war's done a toll, but he's more than willing to house us for the night. For as long as we want, in fact.
Generous. How much is he asking?
He said it depends on who we bring back.
Of course he did. I wouldn't put my trust in anyone who didn't hold a bargain.
I'm glad you think so, sir. We're just arriving.
Tides. That's...
Those are
Beautiful.
pretty windows.
All right, Ricardo. I hereby promise never to rat you out.
Sir, we'll go in and tell the owner that you're here. We'll be right back.
I don't understand. This is too beautiful to be so... empty.
The owner was telling us that the people of the city forgot about it ever since the war started. In the first year of the war, the road that led here was frequented by masked runners.
Makes sense that people stopped coming.
What a pity.
I'm not shedding any tears. The more space we have to ourselves, the better, I say.
He's ready for you, sir.
Alright. What are we doing now? Ever since meeting her, I've yet to be surprised by her actions. Unsurprised by her actions. She exhibits traits and mannerisms one would expect from a member of the Eki. She proclaims great interest in Dementicate and their history, refuses to come with us, even at the prospect of learning one of the greatest mysteries about them. She makes clear that all it required for her to come aboard was a promise of a little wealth and a drop of aggression. There's only one kind of character I've come to recognize that display traits as inconsistent as these. One with a shredded psyche. Psyche? Who is adrift, torn between the past, present, and crippling prospect of the future. I suspect she lost herself somewhere in her history. Now she spends her days wandering about without a proper compass to guide her. And then this, located in the shores of shadows. The Astiguary is an establishment that belongs to a good friend of mine, Leventhos Maribus. Never seen it perform my return to Ombre. I'd never seen it perform my return to Ombre. More familiar with the Leaping Lion, Leventhos' previous inn, but I must say the Astiguary's facade is appealing. Is appropriately reflective of its owner's personality. Despite being in the center of a dark city, it means beautiful and warm. Leventhos is very much the same. He lives in a city of shadows and deception. He's let none of them into his heart. Little donkey. And the kitty. Very cute.
All right. Let's see.
Cicero?
Hello, Ven.
Wait.
You know each other.
What? I don't believe it. How have you been?
I should be asking you that question, you rascal. Why didn't you tell me you were bringing him?
We didn't know that.
Well, why don't the lot of you find some rooms that suit you? As you can tell, the entire place is basically yours.
About that, Ven. The twins were saying something about price.
Cicero, please. What do you think I am? The kind of man who swindles his friends? No, no, that treatment is reserved for the dastardly. You stay here for free.
Ven, I can't.
I insist.
And I insist not. You will take something, or I'm afraid I'm going to have to walk out.
All right. But remember, you insisted. Now, please, the...
Ages, Lucia. You had me worried.
Is this a bad time? I was out in the Pale Isle when I saw you leave the spire. I hope you don't mind that I followed you. I thought it'd be prudent for me to offer an apology.
The rest of you, call it a night. Get a room, get comfortable. I'm certain Leventhus over here can get you all settled in.
Definitely. We won't disturb. Promise.
All right. About suggesting that Avestus call you back, Cicero,
You can pay me back by telling me all you know about the Masquerunners.
Sorry?
Come on, you're hard of hearing now. You said you were investigating them, yes?
Unbelievable. All right. Over drinks?
Sounds like a plan. So, first things first. This herald.
Fractured.
Lucius says that ever since the War of Bearings began, the Masquerunners have been fragmenting, returning back to their factions, the way things were before my brother.
And which faction has Razatov?
They call themselves the Dactytes. They're the ones we met at the Quiet Order.
Led by the Herald.
Exactly.
And what do you plan to do?
Find this herald and get Razatov back. Simple as that.
There you are. Is she the result of the cleaver?
Result?
How did you find us?
I returned to the White Spire this morning. Inspectory Lucia was there. Apparently, she'd been here for most of last night.
Can't hide forever.
Marshal, this is Armadea. She'll be lending us her expertise in the Dementicate.
You've spoken to her of the artifacts, then?
We have.
So, what are they? What do they do?
We're not entirely sure yet. Our leads in the Cleaver were destroyed.
What are your plans now?
We need to get Razatov back from the Masquerunners, a faction of them called the Dactytes to be specific, and we're going to do that by finding the Herald, their leader.
Direct. How refreshing. And how do you intend to find this herald?
By finding Lysandra Rorik.
What?
The leader of the Masquerunners.
Make a distinction, Marshal. Lysandra leads the Melakate. They're not the Masquerunners with Razatov.
Just tell me which groups I should be taking note of.
The first, the Dactytes, a new faction led by the Herald who have Razatov. The second, what remains of the Melakate, led by Lysandra, my brother's second in command.
And you want to find her because you believe she can lead us to the Herald?
Yes, and Lucia concurs.
Inspectory, those are Masquerunners you're talking about associating yourself with.
We're not colluding with them. We just need information.
They are fugitives of the law.
If you have another suggestion on how we should find Razatov, please, I'm all ears.
I hope you know what you're doing.
To find her, Lucia has suggested that we turn to a character called the Bloodless.
I suppose that is a smart move.
No.
Lucia didn't tell me very much about the man.
He is a man without honor.
He is a smart man of the Laboris Solus who recognizes the power of information and secrets. If there is anyone that can track a person down in the city, it is him.
The Luca have spent years attempting to locate this man. He's crossed more than a few of my guild's boundaries.
Note that we are not here to tend to the Golden Guild's interests.
You might not be.
You think Favio will be happy with you stopping this investigation just to catch one man?
Oh, fine. I will not act against him.
I do not trust him.
Calden.
I am sorry, Cicero,
Why?
but there are entities in this city that I do not wish to be involved with.
For the sake of your brother, even?
As long as I don't ever have anything to do with him.
And how do you intend to establish contact with this enigma?
You seem to know a thing or two about him.
I've worked with one of his messengers before, Vasco Tessitore. He's often found in a tavern called the Bleeding Beetle. That is our best bet.
Then what are we waiting for?
Like, I would have expected the, Actually, let me just collect some more.
What do you want?
You seem troubled.
I stick with you for one day, and already I'm part of plans to venture into the darkest parts of the city. Masqueradas, the Bloodless.
It is often in the shadows do secrets hide. And we are chasing big secrets.
What do you think the city will be like once we find Razatov and the artifacts?
Well, Masquerades will no longer be scarce, which means the fundamental threads that our society has been woven from will change. How that even begins to affect our world. Well, the guilds might not even need to exist. The titles of Contadoni and Masquerada might cease to mean anything. I really don't know.
I suppose we'll find out.
What I was saying is I'd expected the Golden Guild girl to be the harder one to convince. Rather than Calden. Because, I mean, they even helped those, runners, you know, the sick baby. And I'm wondering if those two are gonna show up again. I think maybe that'll, come into play. Here to get first. Yeah, what's going on with you?
Sure you don't want to come?
Yes.
He's going to help us find your brother, you know.
Then I'll be glad when he does.
I'll see you later then.
Because it sounds like he has... Like, it's not just about, like, oh, I don't like how they operate. It sounds a little more personal. The tone of the, sentences there, but we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, see? Calvin's response to the bloodless has been unkind at best, savage at worst. What is it about the information broker that provokes him so as to whatever he's keeping from me? Yeah, see? He's being a little more like antagonistic than he usually is. The first lie is prophetic. Cannot let her know that we discovered the function of the artifacts that Razatov searches for. She knows the ability to create masquerades that will only advance and hasten Luca's involvement. Gold Guild needs to be kept out of this for as long as possible. Not unfamiliar with toxic rewards to be reaped from a lie sowed. How quickly and violently deception can destroy acquaintanceships. Expert will not be the least bit pleased when or if she finds out we've been keeping this information from her. For you to find Razatov, it is clear that this herald is our best lead. We aren't getting anywhere without any information. Okay, so that was there, and then The mountain Sierra Verde has watched over Umbra since its inception and sheltered it from harsh weather. None have been able to explain the strange wound in the mountain in which the city nestles, or how the mountain is still able to stand despite the gash in its base. It's been around since the time of the Dementicate. The primary geological component of the mountain, a rock called umbrite, cannot be branded, but that is close to all the knowledge we have on it. How the mountain came to be and what relationship it had, and still has, with the lands around it, remain a mystery.
Ven, are you still interested in that hobby of yours? Collecting stones and fine metals and all that?
I haven't changed that much.
Well, have a look at this, please, and tell me all you can of it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What is it?
I was hoping you could tell me. I have a feeling it's got at least a few, special properties.
I'll do some tests and measurements and get back to you about it when you return.
One last thing. Don't tell the Marshal about it, if you could.
My lips are sealed.
Well, this sounds like some death flags for him. It's difficult to talk about an event, though, without smiling. Man is surely a joy to be around. A tribute that is scarce to be found at Ombre. Many who know me know that Levantheros has been a large part of my life for a long time. If I were to describe my relationship with the man, we must first start at the beginning. When he gets off the waters, Sire subtly motions with the fingers of his free hand. He held the digits of his signing hand just beside his ear, so it looked like he was playing with his hair, picking his nails. Decent enough cover for communicating. No guards, he signed. Others called us foolish for deciding that this was a good spot to find prey. But Cyrus and I knew what we were doing. The fact that there were significantly more guards at the docks than there were at the other tourist hunting spots not only meant that we'd have to deal with less competition, but also pilfering would be easier. Guards were just as aware of the reputation of certain places as we were, acted accordingly. Following my brother's gaze, I saw the man he'd been referring to. Many people were infamous for their youthful looks, but this man couldn't have been any more than a decade older than I was. I waited until my brother looked over. Look at clothes, face, young, first trip? Must be. Waiting for you. Cyrus returned the slightest of nods and brought his free hand back to the book in front of him. Glances began falling onto my brother as he started to lower his cover. He made the peepholes in the book he was reading a little more obvious. He held the book a little higher and allowed a brown page or two of empty paper to fall from it. To anyone who had just started watching, it was clever. It was clear he was a street rat, lousy one, scanning for prey. They wouldn't do anything to him unless he moved. He wasn't worth their time. He wasn't the one that lost the coin flip today. Shuffled through the crowd, my walk filled with purpose. I was a young dock worker who'd been told his salary for the month would be half, breaking precious tesseract rods from yesterday's shipment. I frowned. I wasn't happy. people would catch on. They'd excuse my rough shoves. That's actually not a bad cover idea. That's just from my experience in real life around people. If you live in a place where, just like street antagonism and anger and harassment, not where I live now, say, but where I lived previously. If that's very common, you kind of sadly get used to it in a certain way. Not used to it in like an accepting way of like, oh, it's fine, but kind of like, yep, this is my life. And yeah, it becomes just part of the normal that you usually see, sadly. My journey through Meyer, flesh and odors and sounds, just one of the many plain journeys through the crowd. And the eyes that should have been wary of me had a much brighter target to keep watch over. The pilferer that was my brother. I reached the rooting man in a few short moments, settled up beside him, helping him unload one of the shipments in the boat. I hear the winds from Renica roughens this time of year, I grunted, burning my voice a little. A little brine in throat and salty fish between my teeth would finish the accent. Put the shipment down, made a noise. Must have been a runic grunt or something. He turned to me. Thank you for that, but I don't remember asking for anyone. No, I asked, cocking my head to the side. Boss over here said you needed some help. He turned his head to follow my finger. I'm sorry, I really don't. I was gone. The snatch is perfectly executed. He tied his purse to his trousers with the typical runic knot. Simple lift of the knot's inner coil and a quick tug of outer string was enough to release the catch. I blended into the crowd as quickly as I had emerged from it, caught my brother's eye. I raised his single eyebrow in a smirk, but my expression quickly faded as he waved at me, desperate. My grin turned to a frown. Did I pick the wrong man? Purse, no. He gesticulated frantically. I stopped in my tracks. What was it? I looked down and cupped the bottom, feeling its contents. They were hard. I shoved open the strings of the pouch, and they fell out into my palm. Whatever it was jingled on its way out. So what else could it have been but 7 small black pellets fell into my palm. I hadn't instantly recognized them, though. My curiosity at the moment drowned out the disappointment that they weren't crescents. They had a distinct smell and scratched at some buried part of my memory, but I couldn't quite identify what they were. Along between my fingers, I made note of its features. Hard, dense, smooth, familiar. Where had I seen this before? I looked up, and my brother began to sign. I frowned. My brother wasn't looking at me, but his eyes were wide and mouth agape. Why wasn't he? I spun around and followed his gaze, watching as the shipment I just helped unload came to life. The lid shattered, sending splinters flying into the air and people screaming. As a winged serpent, the size of a large dog, burst into the air. A viper tail. I looked back down at the pellets in my hand and smelled almost overwhelmed me with recognition. Bloodvine seeds. catnip of viper tails. My throat parched very suddenly as I looked up, my brother moving his fingers. Run. He hadn't needed to sign that twice. It is interesting that so far we've only seen like the regular animals like cats, dogs, donkeys, chickens, owls, and then the fae. But this is kind of saying that there are other creatures and we haven't come across any yet. So I'm wondering if they're gonna show up. Cause it would be interesting to see some more. Oof. More notes, okay. Brief summary of the investigation. Raz is captured by Masqueradas. Ordered into Masquerades. Investigations. There are 3 artifacts: the heart, the seed, and the knife. Raz knew where to find them, but her leads end there. There was the stone in his office. Creation of the Fae is also being investigated. And yeah, so it just goes into how they're looking for the heralds now. So first they have to find the bloodless, then the herald, and then hopefully Raz. That's the path that they're looking for. It's finally time the Shadows of Umbra coalesce into an entity. Other countries all had their masses of secrets, some more publicly known than others. Tetra has Raisham, Rune has the Zariah family, Elysia has its Mind Weaver, and now Ombre has the Bloodless. None of their true identities of the other countries' masters of secrets, save runes, are public pieces of knowledge. It's pity this Bloodless hasn't made an appearance some years earlier. A substantial number of cases would be made much simpler if I had this reportedly well-informed character to turn to. Curious how deeply involved in the investigation he's going to be, and wary of the price he's planning on extracting for his assistance. Okay. Hello, horses.
Where did you go?
Don't be stupid.
You've seen how he is. He's a good man, Elena.
Even good men have standards.
I hope you're not talking about me.
Sir,
Sir, we were just...
nothing.
You were just nothing? Well, if that's really the case.
We'd like to practice the Visifer, sir.
Brother!
Both of you.
I apologize, sir. My brother.
Let him speak.
Yes, the both of us, sir. Meliari for myself and Messaniari for my sister.
Well, if you want to practice the Visiva, you're going to need a piece of equipment from a Masquerada, aren't you?
Yes, sir, but we understand if you don't want to do this. After all, we have nothing to our name and no credentials and...
Will this do?
Sir...
That's not an answer.
What? It would do fantastically, sir. There's enough space for the inscriptions involved in Meliare.
And the blade is more than enough to paint on. Are you sure, sir?
Well, the worst that could happen is I get an ugly blade back, isn't it?
All right, just a minute, sir. We'll do some basic forms.
Now, a moment of truth. The energies do flow smoother.
It worked, brother!
I don't believe it. Thank you, sir.
If there's anything more I can do...
Sigils, sir. Anything that has complicated Dementicate symbols. I'd like to try my hand at the more complex workings.
I'll keep an eye out. And you, Elena?
If you could find plants of the more exotic variety, I could use their dyes. A larger palette drastically alters the effects of Messaniare.
I'll bring back anything I can find. Now, hold on. Since you're both trained in the Visiva, you think you could handle this?
Raw masquerines.
I don't intend on getting bogged down with the documentation if I have to go through the registry's artisans to get these touched up.
Sir, this is basic work. We can get these up to scratch in no time.
Good. Until then, however, we have business to attend to.
Where, sir?
An establishment called the Bleeding Beetle. You know of it?
It's one of our favorite haunts, sir.
Excellent. Off we go then.
Alright, so it sounds like they're gonna be our enchanters. To basically give some extra boost to us. Dactytes are a relatively new faction of mask runners. Hopefully investigations shed more light on the factions. Here we go. The Visiva revolve around aesthetically enhancing equipment of Masquerada, from wardrobe to weapons to masquerades, in order to bolster their abilities. Augmentation takes the form of engravings in Meliare and painted symbols in Mezzanare. Both assist the Masquerada. The Visivia are unique, but the engravings needn't necessarily be performed by a person in possession of a masquerade. Masquerade is needed in order to benefit from the augmentations, but the actual process of application can be done, but even contadini. And that could be one of the pathways of obviously bettering one's status. Like, even if you don't have masks yourselves, if you are an artisan who could enhance them with magic through your art, then you could probably do well off. Well, in order to harness the effects of either, one must be paired with the other. Chosen engraving increases characters' base damage will determine probability of an auto attack will trigger the effects of the chosen ink. Okay. Chosen engraving increases base damage. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Fast charge. Okay, so we don't know or don't have any other plans right now. Plus 25 damage. Is it the same for everybody? Okay, I guess. So you can use it basically on anyone. Okay. So I'm guessing we return here repeatedly unless we find other upgrade spots.
Inspectore, if you don't mind me asking, you're awfully familiar with the owner of the tavern.
He was a close friend of my family's when I was younger. Before I joined the portieri, he shared his purse with us. Helped us get through rough times.
That's sweet.
And naive. Most contadini can't even fend for themselves. What sense is there in sharing?
What sense is there in not keeping everything to yourself? What's the use?
The stone-cold girl finally shows a sliver of a heart.
It just doesn't make sense.
So that could be why she wants. Yeah, she was motivated by the money to use it for somebody else.
The street to get you to the Bleeding Beetles down this way, sir. Too small for the coach.
We'll be waiting for you here, whenever you're done.
Because I was gonna say, she doesn't seem like the type that would care about the money. Life of the Continente is a powerful force, whittles away hopes and dreams. My family used to live on the verge between life and this state of existence. Death is not a good word to describe it, for we still breathed and moved and ate and slept. There's a point when we had almost stopped dreaming, stopped hoping. almost turned into one of the countless others who walked around. Shoes filled with invisible lads, shoulders supporting unseen weights. Their eyes, and that was where you could always see it, were empty shells. It happened so often I had grown numb to it. And then these two came along. Deep in their brown irises was a glimmer, nothing more, lest it seemed dangerously obvious, of a dream. Something had shielded this treasure, so many others had lost, and though I might not readily admit it, I found myself somewhat envious. They are still young, and perhaps there will come a time when their eyes will no longer smile the way they do now. All this said, however, if they asked me to allow them to practice missiva, how could I say no? I now have an Artigiani and a Fabra at my disposal. Oh, goodness. I made the mistake of putting some lotion on my hands before starting, and then forgetting and brushing my eyes, so now they're extra watery. And of course, yawning does not help. It's one of those things where I need to remember to actually use, like, a tissue or a cloth or something to wipe my eyes instead of just using my fingers, since I've been using so much lotion, with, it being winter, and how that affects my skin. And a lot of these lotions obviously have, stuff in them that you don't want to get in your eyes. And I keep forgetting right after putting it on.
It's just ahead.
Of course, right after I say that, I'm about to do it again. I'm like, stop it. Stop.
That's him. The one with the flute.
He's good?
Among the city's best. We should get closer.
We will. Just a minute. I was looking for more purples, and that is what I found. That's an odd place for one, though. Like, guys just standing there, doesn't notice that. Like, I guess it was in the water, but still. Alright.
By the ages.
What do you see?
There, over by the side. That man
Yeah,
with the guards.
the...
That's Isander Urshel. He's the leader of the Salt Breathers, one of the smaller Masquerada factions that existed before the war. Apparently, they're still around.
I've heard of them. Getting Contadoni addicted to stone salt, then charging exorbitantly. They've practically robbed hundreds of families of their stability.
And nothing's been done about it.
And nothing will be done. Not today, at least. Remember who we're here for.
Thank you, thank you.
He's getting away.
Marshal, don't do anything.
You, stay where you are.
What are you doing?
What? Protect me!
Oh, great.
The light
Really?
will cut you down!
What in all the legacies do you think you're doing?
That man is Izander.
I know who he is, damn it. He has a contract on his head for blood's sake.
You mean that...
Forget it. I see you're with Armadea. You're here for the Bloodless?
Yes.
Then you will listen to me. Lysander is a large man, with a love for large spaces. He will not take any of the alleyways, and neither will you.
What do you mean by...
You will follow him, chase him, and he will send his guards to stop you. Be a dear and take care of them for me.
What do you do?
Slip through the shadows. If you do your job right and keep him running down the wide street, I'll be able to take care of him once he's alone. I repeat, alone. That means...
No guards, we get it.
Good. Then go before you lose him.
Taverns such as Bleeding Beetle, not uncommon. Closer to the docks, they are to the shadows, up to the mountain. People haunts of Contadani, those simply visiting from other nations. Taverns such as this are for the poor and rowdy. Alright, and then do we have anything here? Not every life in the goods is one of empty pockets and hollow stomachs. If one understands the machinations of the world between the shadows, rising through its ranks is not an impossible task. Cultivated alienation from others. Distancing oneself from one's humanity allows others to treat one in the same manner, regardless weight on their hearts. In the more extreme cases, such as that of Xander's, death can be dealt with little remorse. Ultimately dangerous path to tread, and one that I, having been tempted many times before, managed to stay away from. Still want to double check. Okay, I guess. Just in case anything new popped up, but I guess not.
Stop! There's 3 of them. We can take them on. Protect me!
Come at me!
can't run. We have to fight!
Watch your flanks!
Oof. Oh, shoot. Alright, well.
There, ahead.
Going somewhere? Well, well, Lysander. You've been a tough rat to catch. I did nothing wrong. Oh, how entertaining the words of the ignorant can sometimes be. You consider ruining the lives of hundreds of Contadani nothing wrong.
They came to me for the salt. They wanted it. I never forced it on them.
No. You simply lied to them. Told them it was medication. And then you watched their lives fall apart in front of you as you grew fat upon their innocence.
I won't do it again. You have my word. I'll give them back the money, I swear.
A kind offer. How unlike you, Lysander.
People change.
Go then. The Laboris will keep its ear out for you. If we hear that you have not been true to your word.
Hunt me again, I'll say.
A fair deal. Off you go then. Now, time for the real show.
Think you can
Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. My
So much cleaner for
baby.
the heart when they fall upon their own blade, wouldn't you say?
You knew he was going to try that.
Of course
Yeah.
I did. Stick around in my vein of work long enough, and you learn that people like that never change. But the lot of you clearly haven't been in this vein for very long.
Silence, bloodling.
And you are in a position to say such a thing. You who ruined the entire plan.
As if you even had a plan. You're nothing but...
Lysander Urshel is a man of habit and a man of fine hearing. After every strong performance he witnesses, he retreats to his abode in the dim way, intent on scribing out the music. This is the only time you will ever catch him without his guards, the time when his neck is most ripe for the cutting. So yes, O Golden One, I had a plan. But come, enough talk of the dead. You've helped me clear a contract. I suppose introductions are at least necessary? My name is Vasco Tessitore, bloodling of the Laboris Salis.
And I...
Inspectore Cicero Guvar of the Registry, Amadea Invidius, Initiate of the Dieci Sovrani, and Lumbering Cow, Mistake of the Luca Infinita.
How dare you!
Hold, Marshal. We've come with a purpose. Do not forget that. We need to speak with the Bloodless.
I'd guessed as much when I saw Amadea with you. Though I am curious to ask, such strange company you're keeping, my dear.
Well, the winds of change are blowing strong.
and the paths of the supple carried along. I see. Well,
Oh, don't stop there.
I'm sorry?
Certainly you'll not quote one half of the song without the other. The branches of death lull to its beat,
and in their wake do the sleepers weep. Oh, truly, what a choice of companion on the day.
You know the song?
My brother taught it to me, yes. It seems you've forgotten who I am.
I'm afraid I had.
Excuse me, what is going on?
Nothing, Marshal. Just exchanging words about an old ditty. But enough of that. I'm sure we'll have more time to talk later, yes?
Of course.
We'll head back to the Estiguary. We can all speak a little bit more then.
Oh, my little man
A
is
question,
here.
Bloodling, before we talk business.
Aye, sir?
You sing songs and tell tales of the lives of others, yes?
That I do. I also eat and drink and sometimes sleep.
Have you ever heard of a young boy who went by the name of Jabs before? His mother had been a dirge in the Laboris as well. Talia Victus.
Not names that chime in my memory, no. Why?
It sounds strange, but you remind me a little of him.
He must be quite the fetching man.
Oh, if you were alive, perhaps.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It has been enough years for that wound to close. Forget I ever brought it up.
My, what a beauty. Already you're taking me to the good places in Spatore.
Marshal, if you'd watch him, I don't want him breaking anything inside.
Does that include his face?
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
What did you expect me to say? Hello, I was a mask runner. I hope you don't mind.
When you use mask runner code phrases in front of me, that's basically what you're saying anyway. Why did you suggest the Bloodless? Surely you know where Lysandra is.
It's been years since I left the Malacate. He's the best lead we have.
Why did you leave?
Reasons.
All right, I won't pry.
What?
Most of the time when people ask why I left the city, I usually feel like introducing them to my fist, so... Yes, I understand if you don't want to talk about it. Besides, it's not why you're here anyway.
You're right. It's not.
What? We'll continue this another time.
I'll see you now.
Enough, Mariner.
What's going on?
Ah, Inspectore. Perhaps you can be of assistance in this matter.
Why did you bring him back here?
We are to speak to him in the privacy of our lodging. I see no issue with that.
Honestly, neither do I.
Do not speak to me of honesty. You work for the Bloodless. You don't even understand the word.
Kaldin, what is wrong with you?
With me, this man is a tool the Bloodless has used to spread his tides of corruption through the city. Why do you bring him into this house?
To get your brother back.
Now sit. We are having civil conversation.
I'm exciting, I know.
Now is not the time for glibness.
All right. The Bloodless has numerous contracts, each with varying difficulty. It is my task to judge which contract is worthy of the price you demand.
2 questions are all we wish to ask.
Ask away.
I do not believe you should be privy to these questions.
Agreed. Your tongue is far too loose to trust.
Ha! Understand this, if nothing else. I have not survived as an agent of the Bloodless by dancing through the streets, tongue wagging. If this discussion is to progress any further, you must first pay me with trust.
The first step into the mire.
Silence, Mariner! You are seated in the quiet chair. You are not allowed to speak unless you come and sit at the speaking table. Rules of civilized conversation. So, what shall it be then, Inspectore?
We wish to ask him the following questions.
Cicero!
Chair!
The mask runners have a figure in their ranks they call the Herald. Where can we find him?
All right. And?
Where can we find Lysandra Rorik?
For those 2 questions, I have a contract in mind.
Perhaps the Mariner would like to be here to hear it in its entirety?
I can hear you fine from here.
Fine. It is a matron.
What?
I can hear you fine from here.
Explain yourself.
Did someone say something?
Explain.
The contract has been placed on the Matron of the Withering Mast.
Matron Beneva?
The Withering Mast is a ward of the Sorelle known for taking in single mothers with little hope left in the world.
And in doing so, has only helped dozens of mothers and their families.
No. She has abused the women, plunged them into a life of prostitution. Their children are not spared that fate. There are some in this city that would pay heavy crescents for a child.
Liar.
You do well to understand how seriously the Laboris take their contracts, Mariner. If the intelligence says that she is guilty, be assured that you will find no evidence otherwise.
And if we fulfill this contract, the Bloodless will meet us?
The Bloodless will give you your answers. Yes.
She is a matron of the Sorelle, Cicero. A matron of my guild. I need to see for myself if this is true. I'm going.
No. You have a vested interest in this, Mariner.
But I...
And seeing another Sorelle asking about her ward, it'll raise flags, don't you think?
Oh, you're right. I'll take along 2 of the others. Any more, and it'll be suspicious.
We'll await your decision downstairs, then.
Sorry, I thought I had a work notification
Quite a
there.
temper back there.
The man brings dark tides, and I do not like it.
What do you have against him?
Some burdens are better borne on the shoulders of many. Mine are not such burdens. But I appreciate the thought.
Razatoth is somewhere out there, and I need your mind on this. Fully. I can see dark clouds in your eyes. You are drifting from this investigation. I don't want that. Whatever these burdens of yours are, if you ever think sharing them might help...
The others are waiting for you.
Just remember my offer.
I mean, so far, it sounds like, you know, this new group is basically like, yeah, they're like the rogues, but they're the rogues that are keeping, you know, the other bad people from preying upon innocence when, you know, the higher-ups in the city turn a blind eye to it. Because they're going to be more concerned with protecting the rich and, you know, the mass wearers and the people closer to the city, not the, you know, the poor groups. And that doesn't mean the rogues are completely innocent, but they, you know, so far we've seen them go after basically a drug dealer and now saying, hey, there's somebody taking advantage of, you know, women and children and basically enslaving them, and we're gonna put a stop to that. It's like, that doesn't sound like a bad group to partner with. And you know, I feel like Calvin was probably under the assumption that they're the cause of maybe like orphaning a bunch of kids, because I know, like they said earlier, he deals with the orphanage and all that. So maybe he assumed that they were the ones who were behind a lot of underhanded stuff. I don't know, I'm just thinking, thinking out loud. Let's see. The Dirge is quite the character. Rarely in my life have I come across anyone that manages to be at once so flippant yet so deliberate, so full of life and so unhesitant to deal death. Perhaps it is a consequence of working for the Bloodless. I'd not be surprised if his chameleonic personalities was allowed him to thrive. Finding sense along the spectrum of personalities has landed him on bad terms with half of those they work with. Mariner seems to hold something against him, and the Marshal, with his seriousness, might just be the antithesis of the man. I intend on keeping him around. I'm going to need some way to resolve these budding conflicts. I mean, putting an end to more horrible people would probably endear him to, the others. I mean, the Golden Guild chick is probably still not going to be 100% on board. Just because of her, what's the word? Ferventness? Her being the way she is and her guild. Let's see. Well, that we don't really use. Don't have enough there. What's his thing? Is he... Alright, West of Air. Okay. See. He has a couple of good ones. There's only one spot open. Unless I change it out. down by 2. Duration by 2. Yes. So I want to try pairing these two. Let's see. Alright. You have 2 points. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do that. You have 1. And you have 1. Okay. Let's take a look here. What we got? Okay. Hi.
Cicero! Ven was telling me we had a special guest.
Livia, I missed you last night.
I was out with Damien. We had some errands to run. Shopping for Seiho's sojourn. It's tomorrow, after all.
Damien?
Oh, Cicero. It's been that long, hasn't it?
I'm afraid I'm missing something.
Cicero, meet Damien Marimbus, our son.
Pa, is this...
That's him, all right.
Wow. Pleasure, sir. Real pleasure.
What awful stories has your father told you about me?
Oh, awful? You're kidding, sir. Nothing short of amazing they are.
Oh, Ven.
I speak the truth. What can I say?
I'm sorry for taking your time, Cicero. You're busy, I'm sure. And we have preparations to make for the festival, but it was nice seeing you again.
And you as well, Livia. You won't be going off from here anytime soon, will you?
No, we'll be seeing you around, Cicero. Don't worry.
Excellent. Then until next time.
Okay, we got a lot of purples. Is any popped up here yet? Again, nope. Alright. Well, let's start collecting them.
Amadea,
Not now.
I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to ask about how you knew the Bloodling.
Same thing.
You met him as a Masquerada?
I thought you said you weren't going to talk about it.
I just need to know if we can trust him.
We can.
All right. If you say so. So, how is Fabio taking the news?
He doesn't plan to stand in your way, if that's what you mean. He's as interested in the nature of them as we are.
Do you think you'll say the same once we find out what they actually do?
You ask when you already know the answer.
Right. I was just hoping, I suppose.
Look forward, Inspectore. We have work to do.
So, found anything?
I wasn't able to do very much without the proper tools. Livia's got them from the market, though, so I'll be able to conduct further tests now, but nothing so far.
Well, if you do find anything, let me know, all right?
Of course.
I forgot we did the stone, even though it was like not that long ago. I don't know why that in particular keeps slipping my mind with like there's so many other things in this game where like it's like that meme with the board with all like the red strings connecting pieces. Like that's my brain with this game right now. But for some reason that little stone just keeps slipping through the cracks. I don't know why I keep forgetting about it.
Settled in already, I see.
It's quite the lovely place you have, really. And quite the motley crew as well.
Don't I know it?
It's not every day you see drops of colors in such close proximity. Golds and blues and browns. Makes me wonder, though, what strange reasons glue this lot together?
Perhaps if you do your job, you might find out.
Yes, of course. We'd best get on with it then, no?
It's also interesting because it's like, so the backgrounds here, colors match their elemental colors, right? We got the water, which is the blue, and then he's got like the fire, brown, which would be, I guess, the earth color. And their outfits match a lot of, I mean, not the main characters, but, you know, like, the bluegill guy, well, his element, you know, matches, golden gill, you know, that pretty much matches, she's in the opal guild. And her outfit colors are all these browns, and that matches. This one is like a light green for the wind element, it looks like. Or maybe like a I mean, he did say something about wind stuff before with his attacks, right? Yeah. Wind burst. But also like spirit stuff, it seems. But you see a lot of like wind here. But his outfit is like purple rather than the same color, or even a color close to it. Like, yeah, the gold and red, like gold and red are not, you know, similar like colors, but they play off the similar idea of like fire, light, shining, you know. With the purple, like, what is the connection? Huh. I don't know. It was just, it's interesting. We have stuff to look here. My legs burned as they launched me across the cobblestones. Of course, of Umbre's 3 dogs, we had to choose the one that belonged to the Dietli. There's no assistance that would come to me unless we paid them first. No time to spare for lamentations. If I stopped long enough, the fangs of the tail flying serpent to find their way into even an inch of my flesh, I'd sooner rather beg for death than live through the torture of its venom. Proud as I was of my ability to navigate dexterously through tight crowds, trying to outrun a flying beast was another matter. It didn't take long before it caught up to me. I do not know what senses the devil's creature must have possessed, that it managed to, through the sea of people, strike out at me with such precision that no others were harmed in the process. All I remember is the fiery line of pain that lasted through my back, sent me tumbling. Rough cobblestones were no more forgiving on my limbs. An embarrassment of a street thief who would pay for his carelessness in his final breaths. It's not uncommon to be reminded in the city how precipitously we all live on the edges of life. And though brushes with death are not uncommon, they're no less harrowing. Scant details of them would forever burned into my memory. The harsh stumble did not fail to leave its scars. My body and mind, I cannot recall with clarity the exact sequence of events, but I do remember turning around and witnessing the viper tail towering above me. Its leathern wings beat to keep it hovering, tail dripping with my blood, black from mixing with the poison. I'm unsure if it was due to the venom or my proximity, but the world seemed to slow and I began to see it through a tunnel. I recall the beast bearing its fangs. I recall it pulling its neck back for a lunge. And then I recall its severed head falling to the ground in front of me. as well as warm droplets of the creature's blood spattering my face. The runic man stood before the corpse of his cargo, blade in hand, eyes wide in shock. It was clear he had not often engaged in acts of brutality. I recall nothing else after that, for the closing tunnel had strangled the world out of my perception. Next thing my memory preserved was the warmth of a fire spreading through bitter cold, and flashes of consciousness, voices of my family, smell of heated broth, runic voice of the man whose shipment had contained a viper tail, and then violent nausea as the contents of my stomach revolted. Told you he'd miss, came my brother's voice. I raised my head from beside me, noting how the floor beside the bucket was sullied from my urging. Soft hand found its way into my arm. Mother, how are you feeling? I opened my mouth, but no sound came. His throat still swollen, someone said. Everyone turned their heads to the fireplace, where the Uric man sat. It'll be a few days before he can speak again. I turned to my brother, gesturing. Venom? He's asking about the venom, wonders how he's still alive. I carry an antidote with me. It'd be silly to carry those things around without one. Levanthos, my mother said. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Indeed, you have no idea how much your generosity means to us. Her voice trailed off as I turned my attention to my brother, confused. Why? Why what? He gestured back at my mother and the man. Why did he save me? Cyrus frowned. He didn't like asking about debts. The man saved me and that was enough. No point asking questions. Why? What is it, Cyrus? What's he saying? Ask. He wants to know why you saved him. Why shouldn't I? He replied. He tried to steal from you for one. It doesn't quite make sense that you'd kill your cargo for him and waste your antidote. He might have stolen from me. I'd say he's paid the price enough. Besides, I came here to start running an inn. I've been hoping to find someone to assist me. Honest work for a change, no? Saved my life and put me in his debt? No doubt he'd next threaten to rat me to the authorities if I refused. But of course, I understand if you don't want to either. Can't promise I'd pay very much. I don't know how much money means in this city. But I just wanted to let you know the offer stands. To say I was speechless was accurate in many ways, for I not once met with someone as stupidly generous as this man. It was a typical response of a young Continani boy of my age to respond to kindness not only with disbelief, but with predatory hunger. Those naive enough to harbor generosity in the city often made easy pickings. There was something else about this man that provoked a different response in me. Something about him that called my desire to abuse his offer of trust. I wasn't the only one that felt it either. As Cyrus was frowning, nobody he'd have leapt upon such a chance. Seemed he too was touched by this man's genuineness, eagerness, kindness. I'm not sure what adjective would best encapsulate the spirit of the man, and I am inclined to say that we simply don't have a word for it. Perhaps in the language of ruin, the idea might be better expressed. Whatever it was, I'm sure it's been made clear by now. I told the man yes, I would work for him. Spent the next few years of my life making a partially honest living. Livia is a shining star in the city of shadow. Her demeanor might perhaps make more sense given that she hasn't been born an Albright. Having spent the first decade of her life in Rune, she was brought up steeped in that culture and learned to adjust to the ways of Ombre when she immigrated here. In the accounts, that process was difficult, not least because she had to begin worrying about guarding herself. Her accent was heavy back then. She used to be an easy target if people found out she wasn't native. So every day, she would go to a Sorelli ward known as the Carl Bow, famous for Sorelli schools, and eavesdrop on matrons and sisters teaching children to read and write. It wasn't long before she spoke Alberg like a native. A child. Been that long, hasn't it? Ages. How much time has slipped through my fingers since I've earned my cape? Seems like just a year ago, Ben and Olivia were getting married. Now they have a son? Not a young one at that. Damien's at least out of his first decade. This is the first I'm hearing of him. I know Ben will try to be fulfilled in this way, but seeing his son has inspired in me a certain guilt. How did I let him slip from my life so easily? He had a life and the lion to take care of. What's more, how was he able to find me? The honest was let me to have making contact, but I didn't. The fact that Ben doesn't seem to mind reminds me that he's changed little. But if it's the case, I'm with him now. Perhaps I can make up for lost time. And we have our final gameplay token filled out here. All characters with focus shields are defended by shields from the front. Yep. That's why I try and run around and hit enemies from the back. Either the back or the side. Interesting. Yep. Okay. Oh. You set your skills to new skills. Alright. Alright, what is it?
Here we go, sir. All touched up.
Oh. Okay, what? Oops. a look. This stuns and does water tag. I don't want that one. I think we'll stick with this one. I like damage reduction. Alright, what do you got? Do you have any other ones here? You do. Who's this? No, I like that. So far, I'm liking the ones they started with. So that's 2 grunts to fight the caster. Let's try that. And then you don't have anything to do. Okay. So gain existence one of his messengers. Alright.
Where to, sir?
A Sorelle ward, the Withering Mast.
And he's not coming, so we have to choose 30. Let's see. Because I like her shield ability, but I want to see. I want to see a little bit more with how these two interact.
It's rather curious that we're traveling to a Sorelle ward without our Sorelle.
There are some times when familiarity is less than wanted.
Now is one of those times?
Unfortunately so.
Even the best of the guilds still has shadows, doesn't it?
We'll be here, sir.
Okay. Any side combos? Oh, okay.
All right, this is it.
I am gonna end it here for now. This is basically saying, yeah, we're keeping info from her. What's this one? And that was the whole Masquerada thing that we uncovered. The fact she's a Masquerada means, well, she was a Masquerada, but means something to me. That she's part of my brother's legacy, perhaps? Unsure what effect this has on me exactly, but I can say that it's not unwelcome. It is. I wonder if excitement is too strong a word. Think of the conversation that I could have with her about Cyrus. What moments of this life she might be able to tell me about, that I've been too afraid to be part of. Part of his legacy I thought I'd never be able to connect with. I understand I must give her space she needs until she's ready to talk, but I do look forward to finding a chance to speak to her about it. Sorelli, Blue Guild. Okay. Actually, we'll go inside first before, so we can do an auto save. And then we'll end it right here. So, that'll be it for tonight for Masquerada. I did download a demo for the game. The first Berserker. I might stream that at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it later tonight or wait for another day. There's also some other demos that I might try. I'll have to see, like maybe I'll do a demo night either tonight or maybe around my birthday. I also did play some of the Shape of Dreams demo again, since they just ended the prologue beta. I played I hopped into the demo again real quick off stream, because I wanted to double check that my saves from the prologue, like what I had gotten done in the prologue carried over properly, and it did. I will say, if you've played both the demo and the prologue in that, you may end up with two profiles under the same name. Because I had the one from the prologue that had everything filled out, and then I had one that was a new one from the demo, where pretty much nothing was unlocked and everything. So if you go back to the from Shape of Dreams, if you go back to playing the updated demo after playing the prologue, and you don't see stuff unlocked, just double check which profile is active, because it might have put you into the wrong one. And it seems like you can just switch over to the correct file and delete the empty one, and it'll be fine. At least that's what I did. Obviously I'm not the person working on the game or anything like that, but I just wanted to give a little update there. There's also supposed to be new stuff in the demo, so yeah, I do want to play more of that. I'm just finding a lot of stuff that I want to try out, and trying to balance out funds and computer space. If there's a lot of stuff that I want to download and it starts to get a bit much, I might uninstall Final Fantasy Online, just because it's kind of like it's not really pulling me in, and I was only doing the free version of that anyway. But I'll have to see. And let's see what else was updated. I think that's it. Oh, and as far as the finances go for getting games to stream with, like what I have right now is just from like gift cards, so that's another reason why I'm not like just automatically buying tons of games to try out. Because there are certain ones that I'm interested in, and that's also why I'm more interested in trying demos. Because before, I would usually watch a gameplay if I was interested in something before buying it. But since there's some things I want to go into like more blind, but still wanting to be careful with what I spend money on, since I don't really have much to spend. That's why I'm looking at the demos now to try out and stream. So I will either be back later tonight or tomorrow with some stuff. And the cat is being a little nudge. What do you want? What? What? Anyway, I hope you all have a good night for now. I will see you again sometime soon. Say goodnight, or say see you later, my boy. Maybe goodnight, maybe not. We'll see. Here he is. The little nudge, the little up to mischief boy. Bye.